Felicity from GetYourRockOut here with Damon from the Black Star Riders. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, doing very well. It's we're surviving the chilly weather, and it's all going quite well.
It's not exactly the best time to be in Wales, mid-November, December time.
Well, it's funny. It's like walking about and seeing the fans that are here and kind of mingling with everyone. There's definitely this sense of community that's very, very awesome. You know, Ricky and I were talking about it this morning over coffee that we just feel like there's no better place for us to be right now than with this group of people, and you know, we're honored that we're getting to headline tonight. It's gonna be cool.
Well, that's fantastic. I think it's something about everybody staying in the same place because everybody's on site, and so you do just see the same faces all the time as you're walking around. And it just makes it into very much a together festival, I think.
Well, I know that Scott and the previous incarnation of Thin Lizzy, I think, played Hard Rock Hell back in 2008 when it was at a different location. But they have really kind of grown this thing and fine-tuned it a lot. So, you know, we checked out the stage last night, and I guess we're going down for sound check in a little while. But it's going to be great. It's a great lineup, and it's the perfect, I guess, platform for us to let most of these people see Black Star Riders for the first time.
I mean, is it going to be the case actually then? I guess you've not really done the UK particularly much at all, have you? I mean, there was Download.
No. Yeah, Download, and you know, the other big festival we did was Sweden Rock.
Yes, I was there actually for that one. I saw you there. It was a fantastic.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. Yeah, we had hoped we could have been out more during the summer, but the way it worked, we did that initial run of dates right around Download. And then we just kind of wanted to let the record work its magic, whatever that is. Yeah. And, you know, there was a lot of build up to these European dates, and particularly the UK. And we're just so pleased with the reaction. The fans have been fantastic.
That's really good. It must have been quite a terrifying experience having to kind of turn a band with such a big fan base into something else.
I think that's the best word I've heard yet. Terrifying. It was. It was. I won't kid you. You know, especially when there had been a lot of effort and emphasis put into the idea of making a new album as Thin Lizzy. I think, speaking for myself, I was in a little bit of denial about really the level of magnitude of releasing an album, calling it Thin Lizzy, without the legend Phil Lynott involved. And you know, it's funny because a lot of my family really helped me sort of step back and think about it. One day, my wife said, "You know, put yourself in the shoes of some of the fans. You know, if you weren't in the band, and someone came to you and said, 'Hey, there's going to be a new Thin Lizzy album, but without Phil Lynott,' I wouldn't have wanted to know about it. So I get it. You know, I understand why people felt that way. And so once we made the decision, and the other thing that was we were fairly confident about was the quality of the songs. We knew we had a batch of, 12 or 13 at that time, quality songs to get started with. So this whole tour that we're on now has sort of been a validation of that. The social media has just been really active and very positive. So it's pretty strange to think back to a year. It was a year ago last month that we made the decision.
Wow.
And it seems like that was 5 years ago now.
Yeah, that's incredible, actually.
Well, it is. I think it's a pretty amazing story, particularly when you consider that, the album has done as well as it has. And, we're really grateful for not only the fans, but even our peers and other bands. They've spoken out in unity about, how much they like the album, and they're pulling for us. So it's good.
Well, I think it's such a brave move to take that people have been actually. I don't know. I think people would probably have thought a lot worse of the exact same songs if you had done it under the Thin Lizzy name. I think because you've been brave enough to say, well, actually, we believe in it this much, and we believe in what Thin Lizzy was so much that we're going to do something different. And I think that's made a massive difference to fans.
Thank you. That's an amazing thing for you to say, and I guess you're right. Really, it definitely took some courage on our part to do that, and because look, there's no question about it. The Thin Lizzy name is big enough that Scott could have certainly continued to just tour under that. until he decides to retire. But if you think about it, you're only going to play these songs every night that are 30 years older, or 30 years old or older. So I know it was exciting for him to have some new blood, some new stuff, and we were just all really pleased to have the opportunity to write some new music. And it's funny because I think especially the obvious difference being Ricky, his vocal style. He has evolved so much as a writer, as a frontman, particularly since the Almighty days. And I think it surprises a lot of people. People are much more familiar with the Almighty here than they were at home in the States where I live. So I've talked to a lot of these fans, and you see them come to the show and they'll have their Almighty t-shirts on, and some guy was all tatted up with the Almighty logo at the end. And he didn't have enough positive to say. He was so excited, and so it's been very cool. So again, I think that's why it's important to us to get moving on the follow-up album as soon as we can, because we just feel like the momentum is kind of on our side right now.
And do you have any plans to head back into the studio? Is this something that you're thinking about?
Yes, absolutely. We've already started. We've probably got 4 or 5 new things cooking already.
Wow.
Yeah, and just in broad scheduled talks, maybe by the end of the summer. That's what we would love.
Wow.
If you think about it, I mean, it's only just now December the 1st, essentially, and so we're going to play the U.S. in late February and March, which I'm so excited about. And I think there's a Japan tour we're going to do, and possibly some dates in Australia and New Zealand. So I think this time we'll probably have to take a couple of trips. Ricky will probably come to Nashville, to my house, and we can maybe write for a few days, and we'll have to get Scotty on the Skype again. He'll be having a glass of wine at 10 o'clock at night, and it'll be midday for us. So, but we'll make it work one way or another.
That's really exciting. And I mean, it's true, everything has been hugely kind of positive reviews wise and fan reaction wise. I'm guessing that these run of dates that you're about to kind of start in the UK, you must be completely over the moon about them.
Over the top, Felicity. I won't kid you. We, as a matter of fact, we played London last week, and generally we tend to put London at the end of the run. Yeah. And it was great having it earlier this time. I know last year when Thin Lizzy played Shepherd's Bush, it was the end of the entire year's touring, and we had a good night, but your head is in a different space. You're thinking about, okay, I fly home tomorrow, I got to pack my stuff, these are the guitars I'm taking back, where's my laundry, And it wasn't like that this time, and I think it's one of the best London dates we've ever had. So that was kind of the springboard into the rest of these UK dates. We're in Wolverhampton tomorrow, and make our way back up north, and we wind up in Belfast on the 15th.
Fantastic. And you've got an album that has received incredible reviews, and you're working on another. Do you ever think that you're going to get to the stage where you don't play any Thin Lizzy material, or is that something you just wouldn't consider?
Well, that's a great question. I haven't really thought about it. I will say that anything is possible. I know that for us to have Scott in this band, he's such a legend, and those songs are so legendary. And particularly Ricky and Marco and myself being members of Thin Lizzy for the past few years, we certainly feel some pride in that and being a part of that story. So we're certainly entitled to be able to play those songs. But if you look at the Black Star Riders album and you think about the touring next year when the second one comes out, it's like, wow, which of the first album songs would we take off the list and put a Thin Lizzy song in there? I don't know if I'd want to do that. I mean, you got to play some of the classics. I think the fans that come to see Black Star Riders, I think they're going to always want to hear some of that. So for us, I think they will be the ultimate barometer. I mean, we listen to what they have to say. We love the feedback, and we love the dialogue and the exchange of ideas. And if I have my way about it, there would be like 6 completely different Thin Lizzy songs that we haven't played ever.
Nice. Oh,
You know,
nice.
that I'd love to get in there. But Scotty's kind of the boss on that stuff. I think I may have to like tie him down and twist his arm and nod his head. Yes, we will play Got to Give It Up.
Oh, wow.
We will play Cold Sweat, whether you want to or
Yeah,
not.
this needs to happen, I think. You need to do just like a few kind of one-off dates, just playing an entire back catalogue that's never been done live before.
Well, you know, it's so many great songs in that catalog, and you know, it's not like it's 3-chord rock and roll. There's a lot going on in those songs, so there's a little bit of preparation required, a little bit of repetition to kind of get it embedded in your fingers.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds as though everything is just, it looks like it's a really exciting time for you guys at the moment. It's so good to see.
Thank you.
It's nice to hear you sounding so positive about everything as well. It sounds like you're all in a really good place with it.
Thank you, Felicity. I feel like I use this word into redundancy, but we're just so grateful. We're so grateful that the fans have been so supportive, and that they're coming to the shows and they're talking about it and they're telling their friends about it. You know, just walking around the grounds today, I got up early and went up to the Starbucks, and I stood in line right behind a guy in a Black Star Riders hoodie. And then walking back to my room, you know, I passed 2 BSR T-shirts. It's like, hell yeah, this is great, yeah, really good.
No, I think so many people are so excited about tonight, and so I just can't wait.
Well, thank you. I think it's going to be an amazing show. You know, we appreciate this opportunity to play with these other bands. It's a great lineup, and you know, we just feel like a lot of people are going to be watching, so we have to bring our A game.
So no pressure.
No pressure. No pressure. Just hopefully our stage clothes made it over from the last. Gosh, I can't remember where we were last. Cambridge? No, Norwich. That's where we were.
Nice,
So, yeah, hopefully the gear is all here. I guess we'll find out in an hour or so.
Yeah, and if not, you know, I'm sure that you could do something fantastic.
Well, you know, we could always borrow the Enough's Enough with their gear. I'm sure Chip would let us play their stuff. No problem.
Brilliant. You see, no problem is unsolvable.
We're all old mates around here.
It's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat. It has just been an absolute pleasure. And yeah, really looking forward to the set later.
Come to the show.
I can't wait.
See you tonight.
Yeah, see you later.
Thanks.